right, we're back. Me and Beezy, Rosie here on the floor, holding down the earth element over here. So we did our energy exchange. Well, hi Bees. Yeah, welcome. Hi, welcome to Just Exist standing up so everyone can see you. That's fantastic. Oh, you're so sweet. We will. We're gonna go on a walk after this. She just told me she was ready for her walk. And we're going to do it. We're going to do it, especially because the sun is sort of out, but it's going to take us a minute because we're going to get through this clearing first. We don't know how long it's going to be, maybe a short one. But we did our energy exchange, and the energy that came up that the collective would most benefit from having cleared was this energy of separation. And the replacement energy, interestingly enough, was the energy of involvement. So releasing ourselves from the thoughts, the feelings, the memories, the attractions, the attachments to this feeling of separation, of being separate, of being alone, or doing it all on my own. And then finding where we might be blocked to receiving this feeling of involvement. No, I am involved. I should be involved. I can be involved. People want me to be involved, and I want to be involved with others, with life, with connection, with engagement, with my creator energy. Don't know why I'm saying that, but that's what's coming through for me right now. So how do we do this? Well, first I prep to work before I even began this energy exchange. And that just means I'm setting the intention that my higher self is going to have a conversation with this collective high self. So it's not connecting with us on some sort of a, human level. It's more like going deeper into the subconscious that we all share, and looking for some answers there that might help us to change our lives for the better once we bring them up into the conscious mind, where we have a lot more access to, our reason and our logic and our accountability, our ability to take responsibility, is when we draw it up here into the conscious mind. When it's operating down here in the subconscious, we don't really know of its existence. It has a lot more power to control us and to guide us into things that we may or may not want to be doing based off of that collective, again, programming, a trauma, an energy imprint, whatever it may be. So we're going to go to our chart one, and we're just going to say, what is the root of this feeling of separation? What is the root of this feeling of separation? Chart 23. Chart 23. So we're going to ask for the root. The cutting edge of the soul is this place where we learn. It's the place where we learn, and the cutting edge of the soul is the place where we can get mucked up. Right? So if the cutting edge of the soul is mucked up, then we're not going to be able to learn what we need to learn. And so perhaps we're not learning and understanding our true connection to all that is, our true engagement, our true involvement in all that is. For some reason, this cutting edge of the soul is leading us to this sense of separation. Okay, is there anything else you want to tell me, yes or no, about this root of this sense of separation? So we're just clearing the edge of the soul, the cutting edge of the soul now, that place where we can learn. So we're going to release outdated belief systems about us needing to be separate, about us being loners, that no one will ever help me, I have to do everything on my own, I'm here to battle it out on my own. All of this loneliness, all of this I have to do things by myself belief system, that's what we're clearing now from that cutting edge of the soul, so that we can relearn the truth, which is I can be involved with others, I can be involved in community. And so body programs is something that just came up, which to me, we're just going to say spirit cleared. Spirit, any body program, anything that our body is naturally reacting and wanting us to experience that separation, because that is where we feel safest and most comfortable. For a lot of people, if you've been through a lot of trauma or a number of different kinds of life experiences, past, present, future, you are somebody who does not feel safe in connection. That when you have connected to people in the past, it has been a harmful and damaging experience. And so for you, you might have a body program where your body literally feels unsafe in connection, in involvement with others. And so you go into this retreat into separation, because separation actually feels more comfortable for you. But what percent is this separation actually benefiting the collective? Yeah, okay, there's a 15% benefit. So, okay, there's a little bit of a benefit. And what percentage is actually detrimental for the collective to believe these stories about separation and safety in isolation, safety in separation? That was 100%. So, we want to help people understand that it is safe to be connected to people. And the way that it can be safe is when we have our boundaries and we maintain our boundaries, and then we can very quickly and easily remove the people from our life who aren't safe to be around. Because I'm not going to lie, not everyone is safe to be around. Not every community is safe to be connected to. There are times where that story of I am safer alone might be true in theory, depending on who you're with, but that does not change the fact that if you're with the right people, it is safe to be involved and it is safe to have connection, but it's allowing your discernment to operate. It's allowing yourself to follow your own truth and your own guidance, your own higher self, and not betray yourself. Because when we're listening to our higher guide, we are then not going to betray ourselves. When we start to pick up red flags, when we start to see that somebody isn't safe for us, we'll just believe ourselves, believe our intuition, and walk away. So that's what we're downloading for all of us right now into our collective awareness, is like this sense of discernment, this sense of, yes, some people aren't safe, but that doesn't mean that I'm inherently unsafe overall. I'm always safe because I'm always looking out for myself. Ooh, how about that? That made me have to take a release breath. And I would encourage you to do the same right now, is to just say, I'm safe because I always have my back. I'm safe because I'm always listening to the signals of my body. I'm safe because I take red flags seriously. I'm safe because I refuse to self-betray. BZ finally decided to settle with that one. Okay, so what percent have we cleared out the root of this feeling of separation? 100%. So now let's look at the blocks to involvement. So what percent is the collective blocked to involvement and blocked to involvement with others? 100%. What about involvement with life? Yeah, 65% blocked, because I'm seeing these as two sort of different things. People who are isolating so much because they're literally just afraid to involve themselves with anything in life, work, you know, fun, pleasure, friends, romance, anything. And then there's people who specifically this feels like an involvement they just don't want to have with people specifically, but they're not afraid to engage in life and get involved in life itself in other ways. So, you know, we're just going to ask for anything to be cleared for both of those different groups of people to be cleared now without doing any research. But let's look at let's look at what we can do to, I sound like a turkey when I do that. Just realized that just now. I have had turkeys visiting my house a little bit Thanksgiving week, and then I saw them again yesterday. They were out on my neighbor's roof, and I have just now really started to take note of the really intense sound that they make. I've always known they made an intense sound, but it's different when you hear it in person and there's 11 of them doing it all at once. Okay, anyway, wow. So I am going to go find what we can do to unblock ourselves to involvement with life, with other people, heck, with ourselves. We're going to go to chart 8B. This is our other archetypes chart. And so there's some negative potential kind of archetypes on here and some positive potential kind of archetypes on here. Self-esteem is the one that is coming up right now. And it's funny because I had done just sort of an energy exchange for myself earlier, and self-esteem was the thing that came up. And so self-esteem is something that obviously could be helpful for us. And when we esteem ourselves, we recognize the gift that we bring to the community, and we recognize that there is a benefit that can come not only to ourselves, but to the community when we allow ourselves to be involved. So your involvement in the community is like your service to the community. It is the way that you get to contribute to the energy of life, to the circle of give and take, of reciprocity. So, you know, I think this is just saying, like, we release anybody who is struggling from feeling like they shouldn't be a part of community, or they should be separate because they don't feel good about themselves and they don't feel like they have anything to contribute. I was talking about that to my friends the other day, about how if they wouldn't have adopted me, we never would have been friends, because I just assumed that, like, why would anybody want to hang out with me? We met at a yoga class and they were all like, they wanted to be my friend, and they like invited me places. And I was like, I never would have like walked up to them and been like, hey, you should be my friend, because why would I think that somebody would want to be my friend? That's some low self-esteem, right? I mean, there's other things involved in all of that. You know, my Scorpio stellium being one of them, with Saturn right next to my sun. Saturn is 1 degree away from my sun. She's like, or he, she, he, whatever, however you want to gender Saturn. He's like, yeah, you're not going to think too highly of yourself. You're going to have to slow your roll a little bit there. You're not going to think too highly about this light beam that you are. I'm going to make you feel challenged in accepting yourself. Anyway, so now what can we do? Now that we've drawn in and called in some self-esteem for ourselves, ooh, the chakra system. So how many of our chakras are out of balance or need to be looked at? All of them. And so we're just going to do a general clearing for all of our chakras now. We're just calling all of them to be brought into balance, to be given the right amount of either boost or chill, right? Like I think some of our chakras need a little like gasoline, a little foot on the gas pedal, and then some of our chakras probably need to be like, oh, it's okay. Like you don't have to be overreactive. You don't have to feel like everything is like fine. You don't have to have so much energy there, friend. So I think you can see this sometimes like when someone's throat chakra's out of balance and they're over explaining, they're talking too much, they're talking nervously, something like that, right? And then you can have your heart chakra, which is like under balance. It's like, I don't want to shine. I don't want to shine. I don't want to magnetize people to me. I don't want to attract people to me. I don't want to express myself because what happens if I get hurt and rejected? So again, we're just calling in balance to the whole chakra system so that everything is just sort of operating at the pace, at the tempo, with the right sort of zest that it needs to for itself. You know, I think we're not maybe all chakras are meant to operate at the same load at all times. So it's just about finding that balance of which one is the right one to be engaged at what time and how they all sort of work together to be harmonious together. And again, harmony doesn't mean all the things the same at the same time. It means we're finding the place in which you should be a little lower, you should be a little higher. We're just calling it all into balance. Oh, and so can you show me again what this was? I missed it. 18, that's what I thought. Chart 18. So again, we're just chipping away at these blocks to our ability to integrate ourselves into life, to involve ourselves with life, our blocks to physical expression. So anything that might be blocking us from physically showing up. Maybe that's just low energy. Maybe you have no energy right now to get involved in life. Maybe you're experiencing seasonal depression. Maybe you're experiencing some sadness. Maybe for whatever reason, your body is just really rejecting the idea of having to put 2 feet into 2 shoes, you know, brush your hair and your teeth and leave the house. So for anybody who that might be the struggle right now, is that you're actually feeling disconnected and separate because of lack of physical energy. We're just calling for complete healing, and hopefully what we did with those chakras can also help balance that out a little bit. So now what percent are we blocked to our involvement with life and with people? 0%. What percent are we open to our involvement with life and with other people? Only 30%. So now the external blocks are gone, but our own openness is still a little closed off, which means like my heart, my willingness to engage and be involved is still not quite at 100%. There's nothing standing in the way, so we got rid of these external things, but my heart is still not fully there, and maybe yours isn't either. So let's look at what we can do to get us the rest of that 70% open, so we can just be 100% open to the involvement that will be best for us when it comes to being a part of community, being a part of life, being a part of engagement with friends and family, neighborhood and community. So it's interesting. So this chart is called War in Heaven at the I Am level, and we're just going to say, Spirit, clear it, whatever is going on there. But to me, this is just some sort of a sign of there is a level of consciousness, there is a level of awareness that is sort of just battling it out, right? And I relate to this because it's like genuinely, there is a part of me that would be perfectly happy never talking to anyone ever again. Like put me in the woods somewhere with birds and squirrels and a river and a couple dogs, and I'm great. Like I don't need people. And then there is that other very real part that is like, oh my gosh, no, I am withered up inside without the energy of other people, without the sharing of other people, without the connection with other people. And so there's this battle, right, between I know what I need and what I want can sometimes not be on the same page. Sometimes what I need and what I need is sometimes not on the same page. You can need isolation and connection at the same time, and it's really hard to know which of those things to prioritize. And so we're just calling in balance for everybody at this sort of, you know, this war of the I am, the war of the, am I somebody who comes out and expresses myself and connects with people, or am I somebody who really does need that isolation and that alone time to, you know, nurture myself and, you know, reserve my own resources. So whoever might be, you know, struggling with that balance right now between those two worlds, we're just asking for peace, for you to be able to know and prioritize your energy in just the right sort of a way that ends up feeling good and balanced and not all out of whack. So we're going to chart 8A here. the creator energy. That's so funny. This is what came up earlier. I forget it was in this clearing or in the actual energy exchange. But yeah, so that creator archetype being blocked, that creator archetype is like, I have to show up as my creator archetype to be involved with community. I have to be, you know, involvement means bringing some of my energy to the table and creating something to add here, creating, whether it's just creating conversation, creating touch, creating dynamic, creating, you know, a gift that you're giving, an act of service that you're giving. And so what percent are we blocked to our creator archetype? We're 100% blocked. What percent are we open to our creator archetype? We're 100% open, so that's good. So we're just going to look, is there any other little block we can get rid of here for our creator archetype that will help us really feel good and balanced in our connection to other people, to community, to be involved with life. Desire to suffer, we release all of us from our desire to suffer now. We're just going to ask that this be resolved for all eternity and all of time, all of place, every level, every layer, and all depths across creation, because this just comes up so often. That's why I'm laughing or smirking. It's just like, oh yeah, desire to suffer. Been there, done that. Okay, so now what are you showing me here? Our perfectionist archetype is getting in the way of our creator archetype. I see that so often. I think that comes up with a lot of people. It's like you want to be the creator, but your perfectionism is stopping you because you're like, well, no, I'm not going to create if it's not perfect. So we're clearing the perfectionist archetype for all of us now. Again, we don't have to bring it down to 0, but let's have it be balanced. There's something beautiful about being able to see something and know what is good and have it be quote unquote perfect. But also there's some real good in letting things just be and not picking at them and trying to make them, you know, errorless, without error. Okay, so chart 20, what do we got going on here? Additional programs, type 1 and 2 at the 1 level. Just saying spirit, clear it. So now what percent are we open to our creator archetype? 100%. Where is our perfectionist archetype at? Balanced at 50%. What percent are we open to involvement? 100%. So that's better. Okay. So we cleared the root, we cleared the blocks, we opened ourselves up, we got our archetypes into balance, we got our chakras into balance. Wow, we got a lot done in 17 minutes. Okay, so now we're just going to say we're doing 100% of 100% of mop up. And what is our replacement energy for this clearing today? So what other energies other than involvement are we going to be calling in today? Enthusiasm. Oh, I love that. Talk about a great energy to bring into involvement. Wholeness. Enthusiasm and wholeness. Is there something else? No, there is something else. Love of life. Well, that's also another good thing to bring into involvement. Zeal. Okay, there we go. Zeal. I love it. Okay, awesome. So we're just bringing some zest, y'all. We're bringing some energy. We're bringing some wholeness, some enthusiasm, some joy. We're bringing all those things into our lives and into what we're doing, and hopefully some balance and knowing when is it okay to sort of isolate and have some separation, and when is it time for us to take what little energy we may have and share it out with the collective and with those around us. All right, friends. Well, can this be you? You want to raise your head one more time? No, you don't. Okay, you just want to hide. Okay. Well, we will see you next time on another episode of Clearing with Kate.